Okay guys, loads to go over today. We have got the team considering a test server planet for the game. On top of that, we have got the warlords making their first appearances, and this is an interesting one. We've got other things coming from Twinbeard, a new poll system that's been put in play, and this one's a very interesting question indeed that you definitely need to get your 2 cents on. We've got more announcements, and we have got more announcements. This is going to be an interesting one, but nonetheless, if you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. On top of that, check out our sponsor, Instant Gaming, the #1 platform for all your favorite games on Steam, Origin, Battle.net, Uplay, and indie games on the PlayStation, Xbox, and on your Switch. All up to 70% off digital games and instant delivery 24/7. Pretty simple. Head down to the description, click the link, and get your games a little bit cheaper today. Now, with that being said, let's dive on into what we've got going on at first. Okay, so taking a quick look at the Galactic War Table today, this one is an interesting one. We have hit just over 1 billion on the scale of this. We're at 53% with 1 day and 19 hours remaining. I don't know about you, but without an almighty push from the community, it's not likely to happen. And if we take a look at what we've got right now, in the Hydra sector, we are looking at 62,500 people. Interesting. Yep. Decent numbers. We're loving this. The rest of it is all a little bit shaky, but nonetheless, it looks like we're trying to take out Vernon Wells, and we've also got a few people on Men Kent as well. Interesting, but if we go over here, we still have 35,000 there, another 6,000 there, which meaning we've got 40,000 people just on the Terminids alone. Without a help from our Terminid killing friends, I don't think we're actively going to make this one, which is an absolute shame, because we did the 2 billion the first time round, and now that they've completed the bug, and now that the depletion rates of these kills are going down properly, it would have been so nice to have still stuck it to Arrowhead, don't you think? I'm just saying. So, we're first going to talk about some of the stuff that Twinbeard's been going on about, because this guy has been banging through the announcements earlier on today. We have got some stuff that's been talking about with regards to the test server. Somebody actually asked him a question stating, are there talks of implementing a test server for Helldivers 2 so that we are able to test new weapons, stratagems before they get implemented into the live game? Feel like this would help feedback into the devs for weapon balancing, etc. I'm sure a lot of us would be willing to do this. And he actually responded with, hey, yes, there are. Can't say for sure there will be or at what stage we're in regarding setting STH up, but alternatives similar to that are being discussed, yes. Thanks for the input. Now, this is hilariously questionable. I think that the idea of this game and the best part around this game was the fact that things were worked for, trialed, and then once we earned them, they were just put into the game for us to figure out. They obviously gave a bit more of a boosted movement, and we had things that were OP for then them to get nerfed and something else to come in that was OP. I quite like the narrative of that. I think that it definitely helps out a lot, and realistically, I don't know what a test server is going to do, because if I'm completely honest, they put things out in the works right now. The only things they're doing really are making massive knockdowns to make things all on the same sort of path level, and we already know that the CEO has already said that these things aren't strong enough when it comes to the standardized weapons. Stratagems may be a bit of a different route call, but so far I don't think there's been much of a need for a test server with this sort of stuff. All it would mean is by the time you got it, it would already be pre-nerfed, and I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Let me know in the comment section if you guys would want a test server and if it's something you'd be interested in utilizing. Next up though, sightings of what appears to be a decommissioned warlord from HD1 on the bot front lines. Now this thing looks mental, and we've seen this previously as inside of HD1, these things were in control of Cyborg Society. This is quite a big one, and with the Hive Lords making their appearances and starting to show face, it does make sense to have something similar on the bot side. So I think that this could be a really good feature and a really cool input, just as the bot cyborgs start coming in with the revolt around Cyberstan. An interesting one to say the least, and one I'm kind of looking forward to. Twinbeard has had a lot to say just recently, as he also put up this statement right here saying, yo, divers, don't want to make this an announcement, I just want to mention that we've conveyed to our esteemed colleagues some of the details and concerns on the state of patrols and spawn rates for missions with 1 to 3 players, that they're too hard, spawn rates are too high, or bonked, which leads to frustrating gameplay when playing in teams with fewer than 4 players at the moment. We know a lot of you feel this need some checking into. Thanks for the heads upping. If or when we know more, we'll holler. I think that should have been an announcement, realistically. It's nice that they put it in there, but this is why these sorts of videos are always quite helpful, because I think that that's quite a key feature and something that's quite crucial to the more solo-based players, which I think a lot of Helldivers are kind of coming to. With the way that this game's kind of gone just recently over the PlayStation debacle, a lot of people have left, and those people who are really enjoying the game, some of them are still playing solo or in matchmaking, just so they don't have to play solo. Because it is pretty freaking difficult as a solo player. Depends obviously where it is that you're playing. If you go into bugs, I can tend to play on a higher level in bugs, which makes no sense to me at all. That just kind of says exactly what you think it says, is that bots are probably scaled a little bit differently and probably a little bit too high. But nonetheless, we've got one more piece which is extremely interesting, and this one is with regards to the review bomb cape. Somebody said, should we expect a cape for defeating Sony? Interesting way of wording it, but he put, I wouldn't phrase it like that, but if you asked me, will there be a commemorative cape for the dramatic events surrounding PSN account linking, I would say it's plausible. Love that word. Plausible. Plausible. Now, why is the word plausible being kind of highlighted so heavily in this? I feel like there may be a bit of a hint dropped there with how this one's actually going to play out and what the cape's actually going to be called. I'm presuming the word plausible is in there, or at least part of that word. I don't know, but that's how I'm reading that. I want to know what you guys are thinking via the comment section below, and what you think this cape is going to be called. And if I'm just reading this way too deep, and actually Twinbeard is just, he's a bit of a weird dude, and let's be real, he might actually just be putting that in there just to be a little bit bantersome. And finally, we have got player polls in play. Now, this one is a very interesting one, and one that I really hope that you guys input in. I have yet to vote to make sure that we don't taint your guys' decisions when voting, but it states right here, what do you think of Polar Patriots so far? 3% said it was great, which is only 1,000 people out of 34,000. Some people of 3,009% stated it's okay, but I want more stuff in each war bond. 9,000, which is at 27%, stated it's okay, but I'd like fewer war bonds and more patches. 14% at 4,500 said it's okay, but the items don't fit the theme for me. And 16,500 of you at 47% said I don't like it. Them numbers are pretty much undoubtable. I'm going to put my vote in afterwards, but I want to know what you guys are thinking. The link is going to be in the description below, so make sure you go and put your input into it. And also, while we're at it, why don't we get a conversation going via the comment section, and we can start talking about some of this stuff, because you guys come up with some really good ideas. We have quite a lot of conversations in the comment section with regards to a lot of things, and I always find it interesting to pick the brains of the average consumer, mainly because you guys do this more than anybody else. Don't get me twisted, I play this game, but I also have a full-time job and children. I do a lot of editing and we post a lot of videos. I get on as soon as I can possibly get on, but you guys are definitely outweighing me when it comes to the gameplay amount. So I definitely think that your guys' inputs are a lot more important than, say, the average Joe that doesn't really get much time in there. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I think that all of you can kind of bring something to the table. And while we're at it, this post right here with regards to this poll actually has a massive point. It states, polls like this need to be implemented in-game to get a true representation of player feedback, not just on Discord. Otherwise, only the hardcore and often toxic minorities will vote and skew the results. Give us like 10 super credits or some samples or something as an incentive to answer them as well. This is a great idea, I may add. In your dispatch notes, or even as a added additional in the bottom right corner, you could have a user poll, or you could even have a new announcement from your democracy officer or from Super Earth, and you have to just put your answer into it. Even if you end up with like an extra 10 super credits, it's an additional point to make more people vote. And if we look at exactly how many people are playing, it seems to be on a skewed objective. We can see right here that there are thousands and thousands of people playing right now. 34,000 people have voted on the Discord. 34,000. There is exactly 34,000 people in the Jinji sector alone on the Terminids. We have 62,000 on the Hydra sector, and we have thousands upon thousands on all of the other sectors as well. So these votes are pretty much layered down to those people who are interested in the Discord aspect of things, and doesn't really take into consideration any of the PlayStation players that just kind of jump in on their consoles and don't utilize Discord. It's an interesting feat, but it's definitely something worth looking into. I'm going to be tweeting at these guys later on and saying that there should be something that they can implement in-game, because I think that actually this is the most sense I've seen on a Reddit post for a very, very long time. Now, unfortunately, that is all we got time for today, though. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks again for watching, guys. Appreciate you all, and as always, up until the next time, I'll see you in the clouds.